What is the Facebook exactly?
It's an online directory that connects people through universities and colleges through their social networks there. You sign on, you make a profile about yourself by answering some questions, entering some information such as your concentration or major at school, contact information about phone numbers, instant messaging screen names, anything you want to tell, interests, what books you like, movies, and most importantly, who your friends are.
It's a Throwback Monday today. We showed you that clip from April of 2004 because today is the 15th anniversary of Facebook's actual
I'm more
existence.
interested in Becky than I am in Mark Zuckerberg. Can we roll that tape back just for a second?
See the other side of that.
What I was just saying is Zuckerberg.
There we go. There we go.
All right, let's go back.
You remember when? What's the thing people are doing on Instagram? The 10-year.
He was still in college when this happened. I mean, this is how long you're going back to this. In that time, right now they have. Okay, take that off.
The important point is that Becky has not aged a day.
No,
that's what we're trying to say.
I was going to say.
I look like I'm 12 there. There was 2.2 billion monthly active users is what they've built to over the last 15 years, which is unbelievable. You think 15 years ago is a long time, but then you think about what they've accomplished over that period.
I mean, the other thing to know about Facebook in particular, they had earnings last week. Their active user base in the U.S. has not grown in the past 6 quarters, and
their revenue per user has increased, which is what matters.
So, but here's what's interesting is that there is this sense that Facebook is essentially tapped out in North America, meaning there are no more other people to get onto Facebook, so the growth is going to come from over. Except for Joe,
right?
We'll get, I mean,
and me too. I'm not on.
I
could be the incremental user, but as long as they increase revenue per user, doesn't it not matter whether or not their user base?
True, but you can only flood the timeline with so many ads in the first place, right? And so that's one thing, and then the growth is really going to come from overseas. We're talking about how economies are shaping up. Is the U.S. slowing down? How is China? I mean, no, they're not in China, but around the rest of the world, that's where not just Facebook, Netflix as well as a growth story is all overseas. So I think that's.
Do those U.S. brands hold sway, or are there other brands overseas that are going to give them a real run for their money when they try and ramp up there?
And I think so. Netflix, I think, is a good example of that, where they recognize being first is so important for brand recognition. So that's where they're spending big just to kind of be there, even if people aren't watching it first. And I think that's going to be the big play for a lot of the growth issue, the growth equities that we're talking about, we're looking at. And back to an earlier point you said earlier about Facebook versus Google being dinged by Apple, right? Apple looking at, so someone made a point that I think I saw this on my Twitter feed, it's worth pointing out. Google has a money relationship with Apple, where the Safari web browser you're using is a search.
Yep, they make money.
Google pays them a lot of money. Facebook doesn't pay
So
them
here's the one question. I was actually thinking about this in terms of the power dynamic between all these companies. If Apple were to decide, look, we think you, Facebook, are just completely...
You're bad at privacy, you're bad for users, you're bad for...
We are going to take you, we're going to shut you down even for a week or two.
Just to ding you.
Hold on, but just to ding you. But who actually really has the more power? Because I think there are users who might say to themselves, you know what? I'm getting an Android next time this happens.
Yeah, I don't want to have to live under this.
I don't want to have to live under
Apple
this
regime, right? That they're
I mean, that's where it's very sensitive about
I think
how far you can take
I think there's actual power balance. I don't think it's as simple as Apple holds all the power. I think that's a good point. And I think Facebook is trying to become the operating system generally anyway. And I think that's where Apple feels a threat. Right? So there's.
But for tonight, for Alphabet's earnings call, spending on getting into line with privacy rules. I think that's going to be an important issue tonight.
And the biggest sort of issue for them is going to be YouTube in terms of bad actors and troll farms, all that kind of stuff happening. So that's one of the few owned and operated properties that they have issues with.